Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Ellsworth, and what we're going to be talking about is the 9 different classes of organic compounds. But our class, for the sake of a year that is finishing up quickly, we are going to only be talking about 5 of them. And so you have this sheet, and so what we need to do is we need to have groups fill out these sheets. But for our first period class, I'm going to help with the first 3 because there's only 5 of us here today. Okay, so alcohols will be a string of carbons that have got an OH on them. Okay, and so now this first degree, second degree, third degree is not for us. We're not going to use that information. Anyway, so what we do is that we will look up online. Here is our class online, and right here is the text here. There's also books in the top shelf in the back corner, and so you'll look that up. Hello. And so I'm going to look up alcohols because I'm doing that one for an example right now. Okay, and so I'll go to alcohols. Where is it? Do you think I went past it? I see them on halocarbons. Okay, so here's some alcohols right here. So alcohol is just a hydroxyl group. Okay, you need to put that stuff away right now, please. Anyways, it's just a hydroxyl group, which is an OH, okay, and it replaces one of the hydrogen atoms. Okay, so here is what they say is the general formula. And what does R mean? Well, I need to do some other teaching for that too. So we're going to write down this general formula is R and then an OH. Okay, what does R mean? I'm going to go back a slide here. Okay, and an R group, oh shoot, I thought I had something else there. Hang on. Okay, an R group, okay, this R group could be CH2, CH2, CH3. It could be, an R could be CH3. It could be any string of carbon compounds, okay, with the proper number of H's on it. It could be, but you notice it doesn't have the end to it because it's going to attach right here to something. Okay, another one could be an R prime. So you could have a compound that's got a CH3 on it. I'm sorry, CH2, CH3 again. Okay, and it could be attached right there. Why do they have an R and R prime? Well, sometimes you've got a formula that looks like this, R, and then O, and then R prime. All that means is that the length of chains on here can be different. Okay, it can be the same, it can be different. So like in this one, you could have a CH3, CH2, and then an O, and then a CH3. Okay, and that's just telling you that it has some carbon chains on both sides of this O. That's all it's telling you. And so if you're going to be worried, well, what does the R group mean? It just means a carbon chain. And when we're talking about something as general as what this general formula is, we don't need to know how long it is. Okay, well, with these ones, though, they might need some numbers. So if you look at this carbon chain right here, so there's R, right here it is, and it's an OH. Okay, so these ones might need numbers. The OH might be in the first one. Okay, of course, if it's on the last one, it's the same exact thing. So it might need numbers. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so this right here would be 2. And there'd be prop because there's 3 carbons. It's all single bonded, so it's propan. And then all, OL. When you see OL on the end of it, that tells you right now it is an alcohol. Okay, so propanol, this right here happens to be rubbing alcohol. You've heard of ethanol, methanol. Those are all alcohols. They've got an OH on them somewhere. Okay, so that's what the alcohols are like. Okay, halocarbons or halocarbons, okay, their formula has got an X in it. The X, though, means something else. It means it could equal a fluorine. So this is halo means halogen, doesn't it? It could be chlorine. It could be bromine. Or it could be iodine. Okay, and then the general formula is always just putting an R in front of that other one. Okay. Now these ones might need numbers also. If it's on the very first carbon, of course, we don't write ones in chemistry. Might need a number. Okay, and so this one, what do you think that the name of this one would be? It'd be 2, and then we're going to have chlorine in the name. Because chlorine is located on the second one, but we don't write out chlorine. We write chloro. C-H-L-O-R-O, and then propane. So, when you're looking at these ones, they may be chloro, fluoro, bromo, iodo. Okay? Nothing lower than that. The AT isn't really a good halogen. I don't know too much about it because it's never really discussed much. But anyway, so the thing is that you could have 2 of them on there. So if you had 2 of them on here, if you had another chlorine here, it would be 2,2 dichloro-propane. Okay? You could also have a bromine on here too. You've heard of chlorofluorocarbons that were ruining the ozone maybe? And so they would go alphabetical. Okay, if you had something like that, it would be 2-bromo-2-chloro, and then propane. So what do you think that the big story is of these 2 right here? The big story is that you look at how the name is. It tells you exactly what's in it. All is an alcohol. If it's got the halogen in it, it's a halocarbon, so you got to look at how are we naming it here. I don't know if you want to add this one off to the side somewhere or not. I'll leave it up for the classroom for a little bit. Anyway, so that's how those ones are. Now, if you follow along in the book still, these 2 are switched around, but the rest of them all follow the same exact order in the book that I've got online. Now, it used to be if you had surgery that people would put methoxymethane ether over your face and would knock you out. Okay? Unfortunately, if they put it on there too long or had too much in the reg, it might kill you, or else you might not ever wake up. So, they've got much better methods now than what they had in the olden days. So, what this is that you've got an O in the middle of this one. Maybe you've also heard of dimethyl ether for starting engines. Okay, it's starting fluid. Okay, so sometimes, like my dad, he would have to go and spray it into the carburetor or whatever it is that he had to on his tractor. Yeah, and so I don't know what piece of machinery that is, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, so this is an R group in front of it, and it's got an O, and it's got attached to something else, so we'll say R prime here. It does not have to be the same size. Like, look at this one right here. I did another one with 3 carbons just because that's been kind of a theme I've been keeping here. This one, you don't need to worry about any numbers on it. Okay? It is state the shortest chain, and then state the oxygen, and then state the longest chain. Let me say it again. State the shortest chain, the oxygen, and then the longest chain. So we will do meth. Oh, we don't do meth. We don't do meth. We will write meth. Oxy, short for oxygen, methoxy, and then it's going to be ethane. Now there are some other ways of naming this because they still keep the old-fashioned method for naming them, but we are strictly going to go by IUPAC this year. This could be also called methyl ethyl ether. Okay, but we're just going to go with this, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do then for the last little bit of class is I'm going to have you look up the last 2. We're going to separate into 2 different groups, and then we're going to fill this out. So I will come back in a little bit, and we will see what the students found for this information, and we'll share it with everybody else on this video. Actually, we realize that we're running short on time in class, so we're going to get this information done, and then the students will help me fill this out at the beginning of the period tomorrow. Okay, so that's all I got for you now, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.